Hey everybody, it's Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, and creator of the Cinema Draft game, here with you for a call sheet review and talent pool preview for this upcoming week. We've completed another great weekend of Cinema Draft games, a lot of great strategies, a lot of great results, so let's just dive right into it in this micropod. So, the feature presentation, the main event, the Mama Jamma. We had, once again, another tight bunching towards the top. And the winner this week was Michael Vellante. There we go. Michael Vellante. There we go. 292.06 points. Congratulations. He edged out Gamble 24x7 by about 3 points. Let's take a look at his call sheet real quick. And he's one of our newer players. He's been playing for just about a month. Really glad to see his call sheet out there, winning call sheet. Let's take a look at the strategy. Looks like he had a headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast. He also had, and once again, this was going to be a weekend where, for the most part, we assumed having a headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast was going to be the path to victory, and it was going to be a stars and scrubs approach where victory would be decided in the margins. So let's take a look at his margins. So he had a couple of actors from Hidden Figures, bargain basement actors from Hidden Figures. Here it is. He squeezed in Logan at headliner from Logan, Patrick Stewart, 10,800. And then also he went with, very interesting. He went with a headliner from Train Spotting for 5,300. He went with a headliner from John Wick, Keanu Reeves, 6,500. And then he had Raw, which barely charted, but it had the minimum score of 1 point for a non-headliner actor at bargain basement price 5,000. And then it looks like he also had another actor from John Wick, a non-headliner, for 4.6. So what seems very kind of almost scattershot was definitely turned out to be the winning call sheet, because it looks like he got in his headliners where he could. Once he spent up for Logan to get that headliner bonus for Logan, he's kind of out of money, but he definitely went with what he thought were the best performing but minimum priced actors available, and it definitely paid off. This is a very unpredictable week as far as predicting what in the scrubs part of your strategy is going to come through and perform, but it looked like Michael Vellante picked the right ones. Great job. Excellent call sheet. Enjoy that money. I think 46.25 went to first. Well done. Let's see what Gamble 24/7 came in just behind. He also had a headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast, and he bet heavily on Train Spotting. Now, this was a movie for listeners of the pod who remember our weekend preview from Friday with Jay Devlin. Jay Devlin was really high on T2 Train Spotting, and actually it looks like it didn't perform as high as we thought it would. It expanded screens, while it had a great per screen average when it was down on only 59 screens. When it expanded to, I believe it was 107, it actually flattened out or might even lost some money. So it's very interesting to see that it didn't make the money that we thought it would do, but it still had about 390,000 for the weekend, and that was good enough for. And so that seemed to be a good enough play for Gamble 24/7 to go for a 4-pack, including the headliner stack of Johnny Lee Miller and Ewan McGregor. He also got some exposure to Song to Song, which definitely underperformed. Terrence Malick is now officially box office poison. But he still got Fassbender from Song to Song for 5,500. And this, I thought, was an inspired choice. The Lego Batman movie is a limited release. That was his limited release, obligatory limited release selection. Ralph Fiennes, a headliner from the Lego Batman movie at 7,100. That was good for 5.88 points. In what was otherwise a pretty dreadful limited release type weekend. And then he also bet on Wilson. He did a headliner stack of Wilson, which did a little so-so. Like I remember Jay Devlin and I were a little concerned about its prospects because it just seemed a little too quirky for its own good. But in platform release, and what was a fairly lackluster weekend for platform releases, it held its own. 4.76 points for the two headliners in Wilson. So this is a pretty solid call sheet. Where he might have lost some ground was song to song, but who knew? We were hoping that the specialty theaters would really carry Terrence Malick's film, on its expanded release. But of course, it was the exact opposite. So there you go, kids. You learn, you live and you learn. Terrence Malick is not the way to go in this box office game. And then, of course, our man Jay Devlin came in. Actually, let me go back. That was he third? I think these rankings were off. Jay Devlin. Oh no, yeah, Jay Devlin was third. There we go. And his call sheet was heavy on train spotting. And if there was a flaw in his call sheet, not so much a flaw, let's just say it was a strategy, it was an angle that he took that didn't perform to his liking, is that he loved train spotting a little too much. He had a 7-pack. Was it 7-pack? Yes, he had a 7-pack of train spotting. Both the headliners, he had all the train spotting, damn it. And it, once again, slightly underperformed to what we thought its expectations were. Actually, there was a point over the weekend in the group chat, and if you guys aren't on the group chat, definitely check us out. It's on our Facebook page, a link in the notes section to the group chat, where we are definitely discussing strategies for the game. At one point we thought it might gross 1.5 million. If T2 train spotting gross 1.5 million, Jay Devlin's winning all the monies. And then also the headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast, his obligatory limited release type actor was John Gallagher Jr. from the Belko Experiment, which did okay. It did okay, but it's probably seen its better days from the weekend before. So that is Jay Devlin's call sheet. Also, friend of, and also rounding out the top 5 is Smart Ash and Ring Balls, which I just found out today are a couple. That Smart Ash is Ring Ball's girlfriend. So, as we like to say around here, a couple that drafts together lasts together. So Smart Ash edges out her boyfriend by actually less than a point, 287.75, her call sheet. And she's also, actually, to her credit, Smart Ash ended up winning the $20 gaffer with a call sheet of 290.07 points. So congratulations to Smart Ash, great player in this game already. She and Ring Balls 22 have been playing for about a month. Great players in this game. Love seeing their call sheets. And so she went with the headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast, headliner stack of Train Spotting, headliner stack of Wilson, headliner stack of the Indian movie, Filari, which was attractively priced. And that also, I mean, it was only going to be on 75 screens, 74 screens. So, the fact that it even made 364,000 is a testament to how strongly that community can turn on and support its films. But it also is not destined for greatness, as it's only on 75 screens, and its prospects for expanding are not exactly assured. And then also she got some exposure to Slamma Jamma, which surprisingly got you 4.73 points for your headliner, Michael Irvin, and then Taraji on the lower end of these limited releases in Hidden Figures still got her 2.10 points, good enough for 4th. Nice call sheet, Smart Ash, and keep up the strong gameplay. Very love seeing your call sheets, love seeing you excel at the game. Do it for the sisters, damn it. Do it for the women. Or just do it for the money. Hell, I don't know. Beauty and the Beast, headliner stack for Ring Balls 22. 4-pack of Train Spotting, including the headliner stack. Looks like you got a 3-pack of Wilson. If Wilson had only done a touch more, he could have won outright. And also Octavia Spencer from Hidden Figures. And a funny side note to that, I actually fat-fingered in hand scoring this afternoon. Actually gave him a few more points than he'd actually won. Ring Balls, to his credit, definitely alerted me, and I really appreciate that kind of support and that kind of, that kind of honor among players. I appreciate it. Great stuff. And my appreciation has been personally noted. Thank you so much, Ring Balls. So I like that kind of integrity. He's a strong player in the game. I think he won the feature presentation 2 or 3 weeks ago. So good job right there. But I must draw our attention to the call sheet of the week. Now, I must say that since introducing this promotion about a week ago, it's really sharpened my mind. It's definitely gotten me more into playing the game more. Even though I can't win any money, I can definitely keep y'all from winning any money. So I want to bring you guys to the call sheet of the week. The call sheet of the week basically goes to the highest scoring call sheet of all the players in this game. And in addition to the money you win in the game, I will give you a $25 bonus if you can beat my sheet. And as luck would have it, somehow, some way, in the $30 key grip, guess who was the call sheet of the week for the second week in a row? I have yet to come up off that $25 because I was the call sheet of the week. I had a 295.16 point call sheet, which just edged out. Look at that. Another strong performance by Smart Ash, 294.47. She damn near got that $25 bonus. She actually did end up taking first place money in the $30 key grip. So congratulations to you, Smart Ash, $15. But it could have been 40 if you just had look at that. What was that? Less than about another 0.70 points. Love seeing how close these scores are. Very, very cool. So my call sheet was constructed as thus. I had a headliner stack from Beauty and the Beast. I had a 4-pack from Train Spotting. I squeezed in Hugh Jackman from Logan at 11,500 and still had enough money left over to do a headliner stack from the Indian movie, Filori. And then also I punted my limited release with Hidden Figures, Aldous Hodge. Somehow, some way, that was the highest scoring call sheet of the week, and I owe it all mostly to getting those points from Logan. That headliner bonus from Logan was so clutch, so crucial. 14.46. It's pretty much what vaulted me above the rest. Filari was mostly like a value, not so much like a value play. I had some exposure to it because you never know with these foreign focused films and their opening weekends, but also it was cheap. 5,100 per headliner is just an outright steal. It's free money, or as they say on another podcast I listen to, it's free. It's basically a free square. And then getting exposure to Train Spotting, T2 Train Spotting, I was on that train as well, pun intended, with Jay Devlin. I thought it was going to do some big things. It did not, but still it earned enough points for me to squeak over Smart Ash for the call sheet of the week. And just out of curiosity, I want to take a look at Smart Ash's call sheet because that's a really high freaking score. 294 on a week like this where very few points separated, first from fifth. And I guess the difference in our call sheets was that she went with a Beauty and the Beast headliner stack. She went with Get Out, which actually was not a bad play. It's actually cheaper than going with a Logan headliner. She probably saved about 1,000 there. She went with She went with a 5-pack of Train Spotting. She punted the limited release with Oleg Krupa from Hidden Figures, and then Wilson. Wilson might have been where she could have cost herself some points, only because a headliner from Wilson at 6,900 only yielded you 4.76 points. She probably could have made up the difference somewhere else, and also Get Out performed, but it didn't quite do what Logan did. So, and obviously it was just a difference of 0.7 points or what have you. So that little difference was what cost her getting call sheet of the week, but still an excellent, strong call sheet from Smart Ash. Can't wait to see what you cook up this week. And speaking of this week, let's take a look at our talent pool for the week. We have 4 new entries and 1 returning movie. Personal Shopper we're bringing back from the dead after a week off. The Boss Baby's new, Ghost in the Shell's new, The Zookeeper's Wife is new, and The Devotion of Suspect X, another 3F for the week of foreign-focused films. So what are we looking at here? So basically, I think there's going to be a lot of value to be had in either Boss Baby or The Zookeeper's Wife. Boss Baby, starting at 16,000, going up to 17,000 for Alec Baldwin. It's an animated film. It's basically I think it's tracking pretty well on on track for a 32 million or up opening. You're also going to want your exposure to Beauty and the Beast. There is a case to be made for that. But you know what? Actually, we haven't done this in a while. Let's construct a call sheet in real time. I'm feeling frisky. So I'm actually going to delete the call sheet I have right now for background talent, and let's work our way up. So here's my theory. So the Zookeeper's Wife is what I'm keeping my eye on. I'm keeping my eye on the Zookeeper's Wife because it is a platform release. It is also one of the highest the highest value platform releases we've had in quite some time. 9,500 to start, going up to 10,400 for Jessica Chastain. It's highly rated because it's going to be on 450 screens. It's estimated to come out to a $2 million opening, which at 1 point per 100,000 in platform release will get you 20 points with a $2 million opening. So, and for a headliner that you're looking at 28 points. So you got to get them, got to get those value points. So here's what I'm thinking. Just spitballing here. We're gonna create this in real time, like we like to do on occasion. The background talent. We're gonna draft a call sheet here. So here is my thought process. If you max stack the Zookeeper's Wife, and a max stack means you get all 8 actors in there, all right? You still have 21,000 left over, which isn't, as they say, chopped liver. Actually, I'm not going to max that. I'm actually going to drop I'm going to drop a $9,700 actor, all right? We're going to add Beauty and the Beast. We're going to add a headliner from Beauty and the Beast for a wide release. We'll do the cheap of the 2 headliners, Dan Stevens. Okay, and we still have 10,600 left over for our limited release. Now, limited release, to be honest with you, is a wasteland this week. I can't even tell you what's going on in limited release. It just looks awful. You're probably going to be faced with more Slamma Jamma, which is terrible, or yeah, look at that, more Slamma Jamma, which is definitely seen all its money. The Belko Experiment, which is also kind of on the downside. Lego Batman movie, which might have a little bit of life left in it, or Hidden Figures. Our prospects are not bright. There is the possibility, looking at the talent pool for a limited release, that you could see the Shack drop down. Actually, the Shack I expect will drop down to limited release. The Shack last weekend, and actually, let me bring up a box office mojo, the weekend actuals. I believe the Shack did 3.8 million. So if it sheds another 500 screens and 1,800 screens on an average, about say 1,100 per screen, you're looking at 1.98 million, which, to be honest with you, in this release type would probably be good enough to be the highest rated film in that, the highest grossing film in that category. The Lego Batman movie is only going to shed more screens. You're probably going to see Lego Batman movie at an estimated 1,200 screens. I don't know, y'all. It'd be nice if Hidden Figures actually dropped into platform release, because then we'd have some budgetary options to squeeze in 2 headliners from Beauty and the Beast, do a 6-pack of, say, the Zookeeper's Wife, and then also get some headline exposure to Hidden Figures. So let's keep our eye on Wednesday, Thursday, most likely Thursday evening at Theater Lock to see if Hidden Figures either stays in limited release or drops down just below into platform release. I would keep my eye on this one. But yeah, you only have pretty much 3 or 4 choices for limited release. None of them are terribly attractive. And if the Shack drops down, I think that could be our movie right there. But for now, going with what we have on paper, you actually still have room. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have 8. So I think you could do a headliner from. I don't think Hidden Figure. I think right now you have to do the Belko Experiment. Oh, let's go back to our call sheet. I think you're looking at the Belko Experiment. Is going to be your play. Did it wipe out all of our hard work? Oh, it wiped it out. Okay, let me just refresh real quick. All right, there we go. So yeah, so we're looking at headliner from Beauty and the Beast. We're looking at Zookeeper's Wife, going in hard on that one. You know what? Actually, let's just max stack that. Oh, or just just shy of a max stack. There we go. And we'll do. I guess we'll do Belko for now. Get a headliner from Belko, and actually, 3,900 left over. All right, so maybe you're realistically only looking at a 6-pack anyways from the Zookeeper's Wife. I just think this is going to be some tremendous value from the Zookeeper's Wife. I just want as much exposure to it as possible. And so we still have 2 slots, 13,000 each. You know what? Let's see if we can squeeze out any more money out of John Wick. Do we still have John Wick around? No. Actually, no. John Wick was removed this week. Not in the talent pool. Zookeeper's Wife, very attractive. Wilson, I don't know. What can we get for what bank for get for a buck? Oh, Get Out. Well, so Get Out is currently at wide. I think there's a really good shot. I think there's a really good chance Get Out could slide into limited release. Right now, oh, actually that's last week, sorry. Right now, it could still hover in wide release. And even in wide release is not the worst play in the world. I might get a headliner from there. Man, I just keep shedding. I keep shedding talent here. We need a punt. We need a good punt. Actually, the headliner is kind of pricey. She's kind of pricey, actually. Let's get Daniel Kaluuya. There we go. That gives us 5,200 left. So let's sort by salary. Like that. The foreign focus film is attractive. It's only going to be on 45 screens. So we still need to go cheaper. There we go. Train Spotting. Get a Train Spotting on platform release. There we go. Now we have a valid call sheet. We'll submit that. It's not bad. I still have to figure out, in my head what the optimal strategy is going to be. We still need to see some of the results from, or some of the estimates from Box Office Pro, see what they think. But yeah, I think that's a viable call sheet. That'll be a foundational strategy. We'll see how stuff shakes out later on in the week. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for checking out the strategy and playing the game, telling all your friends. Tell them all to go to cinemadraft.co, sign up. It is free. We're giving away money every week. Follow us on all of our social media. Subscribe on where you get all your podcasts or to our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, everybody. And until next time, go see a movie or something.